Hey, what's up? I'm back. New video for you today. I almost killed myself for this video. Actually, no, I almost killed myself during the making of this video. For this little thing right here. And all I'll tell you is, see, it rolls. It also topples and likes to fall. Anyways, I took the wife and we loaded up the truck, took off to explore. We went way up into the mountains, into an area I haven't been for years. Then we went down into, what am I telling you this for? I'm going to let you see the video. One of the things that I'm studying right now is geology. I'm field studying it. So when I go out, I go into riverbeds and I pick up rocks, and I'm going to come with my, this is actually a field microscope, but I'm going to use it here, not in the field. So look at these rocks, you know, because there's some interesting rocks. I also brought back some sand. And I've got a pan right here of river rocks. And while you guys watch the video, I'm going to pan through this and see if I brought back any gold. We'll have to see. Wouldn't it be a kick to go out and actually find some gold? I don't think I did, but we'll see. So watch the video. Have fun. Don't laugh at me when I fall. Nice looking rock. I'm up in the Gorman area of California, right up by Lebec, a place called the Holland Summit. Yeah, I'm summiting right now. Well, not quite summiting. I'm up around 4,200 feet, and right behind me is Fraser Mountain. And Fraser Mountain is being caused by 3 earthquake faults that come through right here. The San Andreas is one, which we talked about in my last video. The Garlock Fault, which causes these mountains to raise up, goes along there. And then the San Gabriel Fault goes along there. And they meet right here in this quadrangle, which is about 61 miles wide. Here is how you get from Southern California into Central California. You gotta come through the ridge route from Los Angeles to get to Northern California. And right before, we're at this point where right here it drops way off into Bakersfield. And what's amazing is not necessarily what's going on and around this beautiful, peaceful valley, what looks to be peaceful, but the crazy things going down underneath the earth down below us. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here, go take a look. Now look where we are. We are right there in the center of the quadrangle, and you could see the different faults stretching out, forming mountains from right there where we're at. It almost looks like there's a large arrow pointing straight at something. But that's not an arrow. That's just a geological formation that is formed. And it's influenced by one thing. And this just blows me completely away. Check this out.
Seeing this big fracture and how it's made an arrow in our mountains right at the tip of the desert made me want to come here and see what's actually here. Now we're going to head out into the desert and look around. You won't believe what's out there.
We finally caught up with a little small area of poppies blooming. We had to stop and take a look at it. What I'm looking at right now is just absolutely gorgeous. Should we let them see?
Yes.
Here you go. These are California poppies. And this California gold is the state flower for California. The hillsides out here in the Lancaster-Palmdale area at this time of year are spotted with wildflowers. And this is just an example. Normally these hills would be just filled with oranges and yellows, but right now we're just going to go into the last week of bloom and walk out in this field and let you see what these crazy California flowers are all about. Coming through that big arrow formation, all that desert land that's lifted up, and the further we go down that arrow, the further we get out into the desert. Now the desert was settled by big machines like this, and here's one left over. I can't believe the size of that engine. It's small, but it's huge, it's fat. From here all the way back to where the poppy fields were, which is probably about 30 miles, there are nothing but solar farms, solar panels, just miles and miles of them, just all through the valley. That's new to me. It wasn't here the last time I was here, and neither was this. Look over my shoulder right here. Do you see that big tower right there? That's a solar farm, but that's the Sierra solar generating plant. Now the last time I was out here, this wasn't there, None of those solar projects down there for the next 30 miles was there. And this was all desert.
Well, I'm going to make you feel old along with me. Remember 8 years ago, the government was pushing inflated numbers on global warming? The whole world became crazy with the solar energy push. Well, that's when all these companies started popping up out here. Like the Sierra Sun Tower. An array of heliostats reflects solar radiation to a tower-mounted thermal receiver. They have 2 of them. They really pushed big time into the public's eyes because it's a very strange-looking facility. They said it reduced CO2 emissions by 7,000 tons per year. That's an equivalent to planting about 5,265 trees, removing 1,368 automobiles from the road, or saving 650,000 gallons of gasoline. And investors lined up. But as of 2015, the Sierra Solar Tower is not in commercial operation. It's been deemed too costly to operate, except for on the sunniest of days. How about that? Great idea. It's really poor business. And now the business model is changing. And the truth about global warming is coming out.
Well, if you were here 20 years ago, 30 years ago, this would be a pretty happening place. Kind of looks like an air hangar behind me, right? Well, yeah, this part of the Palmdale Lancaster area has Edwards Air Force Base, and this is the place where they landed the space shuttle for the first time, and every time that they had bad weather in Florida, they would bring it to Edwards Air Force dry lake bed. All the way through the Palmdale Lancaster area, there are aerospace research companies and space flight test centers. You know, some of the airplanes that came from this area, you might understand what they are. They're like the SR71 Blackbird right there. That's my favorite plane right there. That plane right there is one of the fastest spy planes in the world, and they still use it to this day. Well, not that one. It's sitting here in Airplane Park. Now, I'm really bummed about this one, but Airplane Park is closed today. I wanted to go walk amongst the SR71 Blackbird and see this bad boy. Always wanted to see one of these. Now check that out. That is the 747, or one of the 747s, that they used to fly the space shuttle back and forth from. Every time they'd land here in Palmdale, they'd load it up, put it on the back of that plane, and fly it back to Florida. Well, the day hasn't gone the way I thought it would. Almost got killed at the Devil's Punch Bowl. We stopped for lunch in Wrightwood, and I was thinking about what happened back there, and I almost went down into the bottom of that punch bowl. drama for you. I was going out onto that little I was going to put my 360 cam right there, and the 360 camera fell off onto the other side, and then it fell down there, and I had to dive for it. The only thing that was stopping me was that tree, and then I started going down that way. Oh man, cut up. I'm dirty. Yeah, cut up a bit, see? Whew. I almost ended up down there at the bottom. Okay, safety tip for all you idiots like me out there. When the railing's not there, it's supposed to be there for a reason. I had a hard time climbing back up. But yeah, I was heading that way. Oh man. My legs are cut up, my arms are cut up. I'm cut up. I'm still just waking up to it. I'm picturing myself having to make that decision to plunge over the side of the cliff to grab that stupid camera. But anyways, that being over with, I'm in a river wash right now, and back there the water comes down out of the mountains, and over here it heads out down into the desert floor where we were earlier. And you could see right there, that is the desert floor. I stopped here in this river wash just to get out and take a look at the rocks that are in here. You know, I can guarantee you that if you were to start panning in this river wash, you would find gold, because you could find quartz. Look at that piece of quartz. It's gorgeous. Now, right along the quartz veins, that's where you find the gold. And of course, because the gold's in the mountains, it all rushes down here during the rains and then down into the desert floor. Take a look at all this river stone. Now, this is the type of area that you come into, these river washes, and you dig away and you chip away at all of this, and down inside places like that, that's where you're going to find your gold, especially down in the bases where you have crevices. Whoa. Whoa. You know what you're looking at, right? San Andreas Fault.
Oh, no, I didn't know that was that. This is it down here?
Yep. There is a workman. Yes, sirree. This caterpillar gets a lot of work cleaning the roads along here. Even trees fall. Look at that. Let's go take a look at the stumps. Now, as the mountains push up and the rocks start to crumble and fall, so do the trees. They're being pushed up out of the ground just like the rocks. These trees had fallen. They cut them and then they brought them over here and dumped them. Now, the thing that I understand is that still in these trees are rocks, like that big piece of jade right there.
Jade?
That's granite with jade and has a little quartz in it.
Oh,
You're in the light. Back up. Golly, there's another piece of jade right there.
I'll hold it.
See that? I'm not going to keep it.
Okay, but how about this big one?
Which big one? This one?
Mm-hmm.
The granite? Well, it's mostly granite.
Oh, it is?
But you know what? I'd love to be able to chisel through all this and to take all of this out and take it home and pan it. In fact, if I had a rock chisel, I'd be doing that right now.
I'm surprised you didn't bring one.
I know, and a bucket.
These are huge.
They are huge.
Look at the roots on them.
I know, and to think.
They're big.
Now, we've seen trees, you probably haven't paid attention, but we've seen trees like this coming up out of the mountains all over the place.
These aren't pine trees that were cut down?
Oh yeah, these are pines.
Okay. The root
Well,
is so long.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, there's a bunch of them too because they have to grow down into the cracks and the fissures between the rocks. And they have to grow in all the ground up rocks, which is the dirt. But eventually they, after 100, 200 years, the ground pushes them out. Sometimes people don't take care of the forest the way they should. They dump their trash, they dump their cups, they dump their toilet paper, they dump their dumps where it's not supposed to be dumped. And they don't put out their campfires. Fires went deep that way. Fires went way down there. They crossed the road. The reason why I want to stop here is this is the other elevation that's equal to the Devil's Punch Bowl, but in the San Bernardino Mountains. Yeah, I'm walking through the charred remains. There's a lot of things growing in here though, starting to grow again, but man, some of these trees just are not going to recover. That's gone. Absolutely gone. Wow, look at those pretty flowers right there. Now this is a dry wash bed. And this is a sandstone. It actually was flat at one time, but it's all pushed up. San Andreas Fault. Well, the verdict is in. And I know that I am not going to be successful every single time. But you know, I've got a couple flakes of gold. They are so small, they're like flour. And they're so small, I don't even think I could suck them out without sucking sand out. So it's literally nothing. And chances are, I may never find gold, or chances are, I might find an actual nugget sometime. So I'll keep trying, and I'll keep making videos. So stay tuned for more from Luinator59.
Video is not monetized. Please support on Patreon.